Hello, today I'll walk you through our plan to transform our 5 acres of outgrown land into our dream permaculture homestead. So let's get right to it. We've broken down our approach into 4 steps. 4 steps that allowed us to get from buying this property 3 years ago to now knowing what we want to do with it. Step 1, take your time. I know, it's a little bit counterintuitive, but if it's anything like us, you would know very little about the effect of the weather on the land. So you might as well wait a little and observe what that does. For instance, we are relying here on rainwater. So how much does the reserve last? Is there any leaks to the tanks? How good is the quality of the water? Do we need a filtration system? And we had similar questions about energy needs, forestry cleaning, veggie garden location. So in the end of the day, unless you live here through a few seasons, there is no way you're going to get answers to all of that just by coming here and looking at the setup. By coincidence, we ended up living through some of the worst extremes that the region had known in 20, 30, 50 years. We experienced the worst drought and the worst flood in a span of 3 years. So we learned a few of things that hopefully we'll be able to put in practice in the next few years. Step 2, set or articulate your vision. Coming from the city, we had this very basic idea of simply living a simple lifestyle, whatever that means. I mean, in our case, it was probably living close to nature and seeing our children grow up that way. So with that in mind, we started researching homesteading, self-sufficiency, and quite quickly we came across permaculture concepts, which are really interesting concepts, but just theories. So you need to find a way to focus on the few things that matters to your own property and that makes sense to you. So we ended up focusing on a few particular aspects in our research. We came across microclimates and we felt it was important. So once we had dug into this concept, we quickly realized we were starting to hit a wall. So we could go so far in terms of theory and research, but we needed specialist advice. We needed somebody who understood this concept, but especially somebody who had put this concept into practice already to give us advice on the feasibility of our projects. Step 3, put pen to paper. For us, at this stage, it was really important to start visualizing what our concept would look like on paper. And as I mentioned in the previous step, we were starting to hit a wall in terms of where the theory could take us. So we enlisted the service of a permaculture specialist, Tess and Ness from River and Earth, to help us design a planning report that would encompass all the basics of the permaculture concept, as well as some of the more detailed deep dives that we needed. All this work eventually led to the development of an amazing 70-page report that we have here. We also have it in electronic version that also has an overall strategy and an overall prioritization of tasks for the next 4 years. Step 4, break it down. At this stage we have an overall plan, but we still needed to break it down into bite-sized tasks that we could just progress through in combination of our already busy life, having 2 young kids and a full-time job. I think it's important to make the plan reachable. Even if you break it down into mini tasks, at least you see the progression. And that's exactly what we did. We broke it down into a month-by-month Gantt chart, into a mini task that we could accomplish through our already busy lives. And looking back at what we've already accomplished in the last 3 years, nothing to be ashamed of, really. We've upgraded our water storage. We went from small leaking and rusty water tanks to a big concrete one in the ground. We cleared lots of trees, so that allowed us to get really familiarized with light machinery. We had a few go at the veggie garden, but we lacked essentially the constant water supply for the garden, so we never had like a really strong growth for an entire season. And we have a never-ending list of home improvement projects. So there you go. We have a 4-year plan and lots of work to do. But at least now we got a sense of direction, without which I feel we would just keep running around like headless chokes. As you can see, there is an endless source of project and content that we can feed into this channel. So if you are interested in seeing us struggle, unfortunately for you there is no struggle button, but there is a like button, so feel free to hammer that. And if you want more of an ongoing following, please subscribe. Until next time.